Hello, thank you for your purchase. This video tutorial is designed to just show you how to use the template, give you some tips and tricks, and hopefully make you feel comfortable using it here in the future. So thank you again, and if you've gotten to this video, then you've been on this document already, but the link that I want to showcase here is the download template link. This will actually show you take you to a blank copy of it. So it's going to prompt you to make a copy of it, and this allows you to make it your own. Nothing in here is locked down to where you can't change it if you don't want to. If you don't like a chart that I have, if you don't want a chart that I have, if you want to add additional information in here, you certainly can do so. That's the beauty of a template. There are some sheets in here that I have protected just to ensure you don't accidentally make a change you didn't intend to do, but nothing is preventing you from doing so. But what we see here, this is our dashboard. Again, there's nothing really to see in here right now because we haven't started tracking any cards. There's no cards in our collection. We haven't started tracking any sets. You can see that there are 58,000 cards in here, and I'll show you where those live. This template contains every flagship set that Topps has released from 1951, I should say, through 2025, Series 2. It also includes all the traded and update sets as well. But again, these charts and graphs don't really show you anything yet because we haven't tracked any cards. But you can see that we have it broken down by decade. We see that we're breaking it down by team. We can also show the most frequently owned players. But this will be filled in as we go along. And the next sheet down here, the summary, this is where every single set is listed. This is also where you are able to determine whether you want to track these sets. Realistically, you're not trying to complete every single set at once. And so let's say I'm just going to start with the hard ones, and I'm going to say, look, we'll just start with 1952. Right now, the template knows that 1952 Topps is a set that I am trying to complete. And so as I go through and I check off the cards for 1952, it's going to be reflected in here, and it's also going to be reflected in my dashboard. So in the next screen, this tax card tracker, this is going to be where every single card lives. Now, a couple things I'll mention here before I forget. There's, of course, over the course of all the years of Topps, there's been lots of error cards. There's been uncorrected errors. There's been corrected. There's been short prints. There's been variations, things like that. This template does not include error cards that have been corrected. It doesn't show you if this card had an uncorrected error. It does not include variations. This template only includes the base set cards that are published out there. So if you wanted to add the variations to it, it's a template you can do that. So just so that you're not surprised when you come in here and you don't see the 1990 Frank Thomas no name on front. The only thing that's in this template is the 1990 Frank Thomas card. Okay, if you want to track the variations of the different cards, you can do so, but that's not in here. How to use this. So this is how I leverage this. There's a couple other options I'll show you, but I think it's easiest to leverage the filters in here. So imagine you are at a card show and you've come across a box of 1952 Topps, and I can filter this down to only show me the 1952 Topps. Okay, it's showing me the set, it's showing me the player or players that is displayed on that card. It's going to show me the attributes. So here you can see some rookie cards. You'll occasionally see things like a short print, or you'll see things like a draft pick card or a prospect card. There's different things that you may see on in this column here. The team or teams that are represented on that card are going to be listed here. The card number, any notes, This notes drop down, this is configurable, of course. You can change what kind of things you want to track as far as condition. In my world, I said, I want to know if my card has a gum mark or a crease or something. You might want to be a little bit more vague. You might just say, hey, this is a near mint card, this is a mint card, this is an EX card or a VG. That's completely up to you. And then, of course, this column here is a biggie. This is where we can actually check off if we own these cards. Okay, so I can do it one by one. I could also click and drag these down if I own a bunch of these. So that's going to be how that works. And then as I'm doing it, what it's going to do is it's going to update our summary screen here. And it's also going to update our dashboard. And you can see that we are now 0.04% completing all the cards that are out there. We've completed 5.16% of the sets that we are actually tracking, right? Not every set, just the ones that we're trying to track, as well as the flagship. Here you can see that it's updating our percent complete by decade. It's showing us the cards owned and needed by decade. It's also showing us, here it's a little small, but you can see that it's actually showing you the teams as well. And this gauge, this will be updated. The more sets that you track, the more of these you'll appear. They won't always be this big. Now, in the next couple pivot tables I want to show you. So this is the set pivot table. You can see that 1952 has been updated to show us that we do own 21 cards. We do not own 386. That's what false means. False means I don't own these cards. True means I do own these cards. And so if I wanted to, I could say, well, what are those 21 cards that I own? I could double click that and it's going to bring up those cards for me in here. You could also, of course, double click on the false ones and show you the cards that you don't own. Maybe that's an easy way for you to get a little checklist ready if you're going to a show or a yard sale or something. Okay. This is a pivot table. These pivot tables are configurable. So you come down here, you click the little green pencil. You can make changes to these pivot tables if you feel comfortable doing so. I'll give you an example of one on why you might want to do so. So this is the player pivot table. This is showing us every time a particular player appears, but it is very literal. So it is saying, hey, there are 58 times in which the player is Albert Pujols, but it's only the cards in which Albert appears alone, right? Because again, in this card tracker sheet here, there may be times in which there are going to be players or multiple players that are on a particular card. So I'll show you an example here. If I scroll down, we got to scroll down a little bit. It took them a little bit to do it. Here's an example where this card has 3 different players on it. In this player pivot sheet, it's only showing us at the top, it's showing you that there's 58 times in which Albert appeared by himself. If I double click on that, lo and behold, there they are. Okay. As I scroll down here, you will notice that there's going to be times in which there's going to be multiple players on a particular card, right? So if I scroll down far enough, right? So a lot of these are all the time single players appear. But if I scroll down here, you're going to get to times where there's players that appear on multiple ones. So in my opinion, the pivot table isn't necessarily the best way to filter down by player, because if you just click on this one, you're going to be missing other cards in which Albert appears, albeit with other players. So what I would do is I would come into the card tracker tab here, and I would just simply filter this. I would clear this filters here, and I would say, look, I want to show any cards in which, let's say, Ken Griffey, right? Any cards in which Griffey appears, okay? What this is going to do is it's going to show us, whoops, I have another filter in here. Which filter do I have? Yeah, I got to do this. Sorry, don't do that. Select all, but still have the filter in there. But what it's going to do is it's going to show us every single time that Griffey appears. Now, notice that this is Ken Griffey Sr., right? But as we scroll down, we start to see this. So that's how I would use the filters. If you really wanted to filter down by individual player, one of my favorite players is Mike Schmidt. So I could go in here and I could say changes to Mike Schmidt. Mike Schmidt's rookie card, he appears with multiple players, right? Ron Cey and John Hilton are also on those cards, but this is a way for me to pull in those Mike Schmidt cards. All right. What else? Same with team pivot tables. So the team pivots tables are the same way, right? There's almost 2,600 instances where the Yankees are the only team that are represented on that card. But as I scroll down, there's going to be lots of other examples or variations or combinations. So again, what I would do is I would come into my card tracker and I would filter by team. Do the exact same thing that I did for a player, but instead of putting a player's name, I would put a team name. Okay. Attribute pivot, so same thing, rookie cards, all-star cards, team cards, right? If I want to look at all the manager cards, I can double click on that and it's going to show me all the manager cards. Same with notes, so if I am tracking, let's say mint, near mint, EX, VG, I will have a running tally of those and I'll be able to double click on that if I wanted to see all the cards that I have in a particular condition. The glossary is there because there's a lot of abbreviations. Topps has used many different abbreviations over the years, many different insert cards that are a part of the base card sets. Again, this template doesn't include all the insert card sets, but there are insert cards within the base sets, and those are included here. And then these last four sheets, you can see there's a little lock icon on there. These are, again, pivot tables and charts that you can adjust and play with if you want, but they are built in a certain way. So, I recommend that you don't do it, but if you do, it'll give you a little warning to do it. I will call out the team total. So we saw this on the dashboard where there is a chart that's showing us the team cards owned and needed by team. This one has a little bit more intelligence built into it. Take the Atlanta Braves, for instance. The Braves have been in 3 different cities. They've been the Boston Braves, the Milwaukee Braves, and the Atlanta Braves. This filter is looking for every single time one of those appears in the team column. So there are only 30 teams in here, right? So I'll give you another example. The Texas Rangers. The Texas Rangers used to be the Washington Senators. Guess what? There's been a couple iterations of the Washington Senators. The first Washington Senators team became the Twins. The second Washington Senators became the Texas Rangers. So again, those are all going to be included in here together. This is not a pivot table. This is just simply a table that is informing our chart on the dashboard. Let me show you an example of one that has some filled in. So this is an example of one that actually has a bunch of cards already in it. There's 18,000 cards in the collection. We're tracking 33 sets. You can see how the charts are showing us the cards owned and needed by decade, percent complete by decade, the cards owned and needed by team, most frequently owned players. Again, this is all going to be updated automatically for you. And again, because we're tracking 33 sets, this is going to show these gauges down here as well. And then in the summary table, of course, I'm going to be able to see all the different sets that I'm tracking, as well as the cards that I've owned or need for these particular sets. So hopefully this was helpful. It certainly isn't an exhaustive demonstration, but hopefully it gives you started. Hopefully it makes you feel comfortable. Again, certainly covet any questions, comments that you may have. Depending on how you guys like it, we can certainly expand this into other sets. We can expand it into other sports. But just to kind of give you a story on why I did this, I just needed something for card shows that didn't involve having papers and a pen trying to cross things off. I wanted to be able to simply come onto my phone and filter down to show exactly what I'm looking for, to be able to track my progress, to be able to visually see how I'm progressing in getting things done, but having some flexibility so that I don't feel like I need to complete every single set that's out there, but I can pick and choose exactly what I care about. So again, I appreciate your purchase, and hopefully this has been helpful, and please enjoy your template.